Women in Politics from BBC Learning English. Hello, this is 6 Minute English. I'm Sam and I'm Georgina. How do you feel about ballistic, Georgina? Well, there are a lot around at the moment. Yes, indeed. One thing I would like to see in ballistic, particularly racist politics, is more women in parliament. About 34% of our PMs are women, which is the highest it's ever been, but it's still not close to 50%. In order to be elected though, you first have to stand, don't you? Yes, we use the verb stand when you are a candidate someone can vote for. Women in politics is our topic today. Before we get into it, today which question? Which country has the highest percentage of women in its parliament? Is it A. Rwanda, B. Sweden, or C. New Zealand? What do you think, Georgina? I'm not sure. I know New Zealand were one of the first countries to allow women to vote, and they currently have a female rights minister. But I think it's actually an African country, so I'm going to say Rwanda. Okay, we see if you are correct at the end of the program. There are a number of projects in the UK at the moment trying to get more women interested in standing for parliament. One of these is campaign Sign Up to Stand from an organization called 50/50 Parliament. Grace Howard is someone who has taken up that challenge and is hoping to stand in upcoming elections. She was a guest on the BBC's radio program Woman's Hour, and she wasn't always interested in politics. Though, how does she describe it? I didn't really see myself in the Houses of Parliament. When we see it on TV, it looks extremely boring. Politics clothes boring, especially a young person. And so when I saw that 50/50 Parliament was including women and including young women, including diverse range of young women, I thought, wow, this is really for me, and it can be for me. So I decided to hashtag Sign Up to Stand. Ever since, I just been ecstatic at the prospect of me standing for Parliament. What were her original feeling about politics? Boring. She thought it was boring, particularly as a young person. In fact, she couldn't see herself as a politician. She couldn't imagine herself doing it. She said that she now ecstatic at the prospect of standing. What does she means by that? The prospect of something is the possibility of something. So before she thought it was boring, and now she is ecstatic at the possibility that she could be a member of parliament. So what was it that made her change her mind and think that politics wasn't so boring after all? Here, look, Grace Howard again. I think everybody has politicians within them because we all get anger about something, but unfortunately when we see it, it's all jargon, and it's not very words that we can understand. Even just a working class person who hasn't, been to a private school and who came from a disadvantaged background, and so I realize politics is for absolutely everybody. It's just the way that you speak about it had to be tailored to anyone. One of one of the things she didn't like about politics were the jargon. Well, no one likes jargon, do they? Jargon is very specific language and vocabulary relating to a particular profession. Inside the professions, people know what it means, but from outside, it can be seen very complicated and confusing. Lucrece said, she came from a disadvantaged background. This means that Greasy was growing up, her family didn't have very much money, and that made life and study well very difficult. But even though, or maybe because she came from a disadvantaged background, she has become interested in politics and think that it can be something for anyone. But rather than use jargon, you have to tailor the way you speak for anyone. To tailor something to make it fit in the same way that a tailor makes clothes fit. You can tailor your language to make it easy for everyone to understand. And one way due to that is to cut out the jargon. That's just about all we have time for today. But before we review the vocabulary, it's time to get the answer to today's question. Which country has the highest percentage of women in its parliament? Is it A. Rwanda, B. Sweden, or C. New Zealand? Georgina, what did you say? I make an educated guess of Rwanda, an educated guess and a correct guess. Well done, and well done to everyone else who got that right too. According to 2019 figures, Rwanda Parliament has over 60% women MPs. Go Rwanda. Okay, let's remind ourselves of today's vocabulary. Of course, to stand is the verb we use when someone is candidate in an election. When someone stands for election, you can vote for them. If you can see yourself as something, it means that you can imagine yourself doing that thing. The robot of something is the possibility of something. So, for example, the robot of becoming an MP is something that aside Lucrece. Something that we all had, except when we use it ourselves. Is jargon, words and language that are very specific to a particular job, and which are difficult for people outside that professional to understand. People who grow up without enough money and without access to education can be said to come from a disadvantaged background. And finally, the tailor something is to change it to make it suitable for a particular purpose. So, for example, if you want to make politics accessible for more people, you have to tailor your language and cut out the jargon. In this, well, it's time for us to go now, but to join us again soon. Bye for now. Bye bye.